After the Great Fire of London, many streets were widened while others were narrowed to create fire breaks, while preserving the original sizes of the different plots of land. And this has sort of given rise to an urban sport, in which basically you have to go from one place to another, trying to use as many tiny, extremely narrow alleyways as possible in the City of London. It's generally safe in the City of London because it's not a council estate. I mean, not many people even live here anyway. Of course you're running, so you'd have the element of surprise. But anyway, so basically the aim is to, in one place or another, as quickly as possible, using all the tiny narrow streets, and without turning back and changing direction. And this is the guide you should use. All these lighter grey areas are where you can go. All these alleyways that are open to the public are shown in light grey. The black is the roads that are wide enough for cars to drive down. So I'm here at St Paul's, and I'm going to go to All Hallows. I'm not in the best condition to do this because I didn't get a wink of sleep last night. But still. Another thing is, in the City of London, all of the church spires are designed to be unique and distinct from each other, which means that until recently, when all these tall buildings were built, when there weren't so many tall buildings, people would use these as navigational aids. Even if they couldn't read, they could still use the towers of all the churches as navigational aids. So, they'd be able to know where they were by seeing what church spire it was. But also, they were designed to have, they all have round windows because they were designed so that it would be possible to fit clocks, which would mean that they'd then be able to see the clock and then get their precise position by looking at the clock and then telling the time, and then corresponding that to the shadow on the building. So they get the precise position. I mean, well, I found a lift that I didn't know existed. Let's see if it's working. It doesn't look like it's working. It's an Otis. Anyway, continue. So, you can see that as against the rules of the game. But technically, you can stop if you're waiting for a lift. That's allowed. Now on this Queen Victoria Street, I'm not perfect at this. It takes a lot of practice to do this. And these are the IRA barriers. Not entirely sure which church this one is. St Andrew by the Wardrobe. If we can get inside buildings, even better. That one says demolition in progress, keep out. I keep stopping. No, I'm not. second church. This one is St. James Garlic Hive. Oh, they've closed this off for the construction. I'll find another route. Also, they've closed that one off. Where's the next one that they haven't closed off? No. Oh, wait, St. Thomas Apostle. So now at St. Michael Paternoster Royal. It's only a guild hall. Another stupid ticket barrier skyscraper. And here above Cannon Street Station, they criticised the office building that was up here before, or they built this. So what do? If they don't like the architecture of that office building, they knock it down and they build something that looks very similar. That's just the madness of modern architecture. It's very hypocritical. I mean, they've criticised modernist architecture while at the same time building modernist architecture. It makes no sense. Very hypocritical. This is St. Stephen Walbrook. And another one of those areas where these horrible companies had then bought up all the buildings surrounding a street just so that they could be number one on that street and then close that street to pedestrians. And it just makes London, it just makes the city of London just look more of a boring, generic city every time that happens. But you can still get through here. And they put a no entry sign here as well. These owners of all these skyscrapers are just absolutely, if there was a word for the opposite of community minded that was in my vocabulary, I'd be using it to describe them right now. Like I'm delivering them stuff. So now I'm at St. Mary Woolnoth, and it's still valid if you run through a ticket office or at the subway. There's a lift. It's finally coming. There's a very large inspection control panel on that lift. Any person recorded urinating. So that doesn't make much sense. Do you own the recorded urinating? And it's got a go button, this lift. Come on. Finally.
Press button to operate lift.
Go.
Travelling to ticket hall.
It's like a fairground attraction. This is so slow. I mean, in a fairground attraction, most people don't really care about how fast it is. Because they're not in a hurry to get anywhere. And now I'm in this underground, weird passage area. And this is actually the crypt of St. Mary Woolnoth. And there are some lifts. And they're old, awesome old Otis lifts, and they're not being used. I finally found one of these lifts that hasn't been modernised.
The door, please.
So with this button, just call it accepted. Excellent. these just have so much character. Sadly, nearly all of them have been modernised, yet I'm on a really busy station and this one hasn't been modernised. "78 persons, 5,900 kilograms, that's enormous. You could fit a minibus in this lift. The door's got a lip. This motor is very quiet when going down, but loud when going up. It's a winding drum lift. Maybe that would explain why it goes so slowly. It's rather slow for an underground lift. 70s Otis, and it's still got this original interior decor that an underground Wadsworth lifts would have. Hopehead Alley is not that useful to us because it doesn't really connect to anything. What is useful when you're disappearing is other streets like Change Alley, which actually goes somewhere. The great thing with this alley, it actually goes somewhere. Change Alley. And then go down Bengal Court, which you almost completely miss. There's another one of these alleyways that actually goes somewhere. And you get through to Leadenhall Market just by running through here. This is Bell Yard. And that's Leadenhall Market. This Bull's Head Passage. Oh fuck. Tourist group. What are they even doing? I mean, are they queuing for something? I can't tell. They're not even seem to be doing anything useful. They're in Leadenhall Market. So here is Lovett Lane. I haven't tried this one before. It doesn't count as a gate if you can't unlock it, because the lock's faulty. It's going on that for some reason. Another one. What I call Keel Park method. St Dunstan in the east. Pedestrian Londoners always ignore dead-end signs. The chances are there's going to be a passageway or some other way to get through. Another Premier Inn. First one was just around the corner. I'm nearly at All Hallows, just down here. I'm using my escalator technique on the stairs. Sometimes I overtake the escalator. This building has a ZZ restaurant in it. Here's All Hallows. I'm here. So here I am waiting for the Thames Clippers Waterman service. Thames Clippers is a waterman service, and it's a tourist track. It's hugely overpriced. And also, if they see you and you've got an Oyster card, then they'll they'll swipe it, because then they're looking for an excuse not to let you get on, because the boats are already pretty crowded. And if they can, then they try to trick you into thinking that by swiping your card, it's meant that it's going to charge you if you don't get on. And the staff on Thames Clippers are really arrogant. And they're like treating everyone as they're treating everyone as if they've never used any form of public transport in London before. And like they're going, you will touch your contactless card here, it will go beep. And it's really annoying, arrogant they are.